Genesis 1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, one day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And there was evening, and there was morning, a second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together to one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and he called the gathering together of the waters seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth put forth grass, herbs yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit according to their kind, in which is the seed of them, upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, herbs yielding seed according to their kind, and trees bearing fruit, in which is the seed of it, according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, also the stars. And God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fourth day. And God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." And God created the great sea creatures, and every living creature that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kind, cattle, and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kind." And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kind, and the cattle according to their kind, and everything that creeps upon the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that." And God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, "Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves upo." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps upon the earth in which there is life, for food, every green herb." And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Genesis 2. And the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God finished his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and hallowed it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Lord God made earth and heaven. And no plant of the field was yet in the earth, and no herb of the field had yet sprung up, for Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth. And there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Lord God planted a garden eastward, in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground Lord God made to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, also the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it was divided, and became 4 heads. The name of the first is Pishon. That is it which encompasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gan. The same is it which encompasses the whole land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel Tigris. That is it which goes in front of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. And Lord God took the man, and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eat of it, thou shalt surely die. And Lord God said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make a help meet for him. And out of the ground Lord God formed every beast of the field, and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was the name of it. And the man gave names to all cattle, and to the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. But for man there was not found a help meet for him. And Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept. And God took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh in place of it. And the rib, which Lord God had taken from the man, he made a woman, and brought her to the man. And the man said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cling to his wife, and the two, LXX/NT, shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Genesis 3. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Yeah, has God said, Ye shall not eat of any tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, Of the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat of it, nor shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said to the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God knows that in the day ye eat of it, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make wise, she took of the fruit of it, and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and ate. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And Lord God called to the man, and said to him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Have thou eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Lord God said to the woman, What is this thou have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I ate. And Lord God said to the serpent, Because thou have done this, cursed art thou above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. He shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy pain and thy childbearing. In pain thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And to Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened to the voice of thy wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In toil thou shalt eat of it all. Also thorns and thistles it shall bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till thou return to the ground, for out of it thou wert taken. For thou art dust, and to dust thou shalt return. And the man called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. And Lord God made for Adam and for his wife coats of skins, and clothed them. And Lord God said, Behold, the man has become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from where he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden the cherubim, and the flame of a sword which turned every way, to guard the way of the tree of life. Genesis 4. And the man knew Eve his wife, and she conceived, and bore Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass, that Cain brought an offering to Lord of the fruit of the ground. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat of it. And Lord had respect to Abel and to his offering, but he did not have respect to Cain and to his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. And Lord said to Cain, Why art thou angry? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou do well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou do not well, sin crouches at the door. Its desire shall be for thee, and thou shalt rule over it. And Cain told Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and killed him. And Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What have thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cries to me from the ground. And now cursed art thou from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou till the ground, it shall not henceforth yield to thee its strength. A fugitive and a wanderer thou shalt be on the earth. And Cain said to Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the ground, and I shall be hid from thy face, and I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer in the earth. And it shall come to pass, that whoever finds me shall slay me. And Lord said to him, Therefore whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Lord appointed a sign for Cain, lest any who finds him should smite him. And Cain went out from the presence of Lord, and dwelled in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bore Enoch. And Cain built a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch. And to Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mehujael, and Mehujael begot Methushel, and Methushel begot Lamech. And Lamech took to him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. And Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents and have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and pipe. And Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, the forger of every cutting instrument of brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken to my speech. For I have killed a man for wounding me, and a young man for bruising me. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 77-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Seth. For, she said, God has appointed for me another seed instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enosh. Then men began to call upon the name of Lord. Genesis 5. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God he made him. Male and female he created them, and blessed them, and called their name man, in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness, according to his image, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam were 800 years after he begot Seth, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years, and begot Enosh. And Seth lived 807 years after he begot Enosh, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years, and begot Kenan. And Enosh lived 815 years after he begot Kenan, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. And Kenan lived 70 years, and begot Mahalalel. And Kenan lived 840 years after he begot Mahalalel, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Kenan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years, and begot Jared. And Mahalalel Jared 830 years lived after he begot, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and begot Enoch. And Jared lived 800 years after he begot Enoch, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years, and begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and begot Lamech. And Methuselah lived 782 years after he begot Lamech, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and begot a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, This same shall comfort us in our work and in the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Lord has cursed. And Lamech lived 595 years after he begot Noah, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the ground, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took to them wives of all that they chose. And Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he also is flesh. Yet shall his days be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came to the daughters of men, and they bore sons to them, the same were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. And Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the ground, from man to beast, to creeping things, and birds of the heavens, for I regret that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way upon the earth. And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Thou shalt make rooms in the ark, and shalt pitch it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how thou shalt make it. The length of the ark 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Thou shalt make a light for the ark, and thou shalt finish it to a cubit upward. And thou shalt set the door of the ark in the side of it. With lower, second, and third stories thou shalt make it. And I, behold, I bring the flood of waters upon this earth, to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life, from under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with thee. And thou shalt come into the ark, thou, and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort thou shalt bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of the birds according to their kind, and of the cattle according to their kind, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind. 2 of every sort shall come to thee, to keep them alive. And take thou to thee of all food that is eaten, and gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee, and for them. Thus Noah did, according to all that God commanded him, so he did. Genesis 7. And Lord said to Noah, Come, thou and all thy house into the ark, for I have seen thee righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean too, the male and his female. Also of the birds of the heavens by sevens, male and female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will destroy from off the face of the ground. And Noah did according to all that Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of birds, and of everything that creeps upon the ground. There went in 2 by 2 to Noah into the ark, male and female, as God commanded Noah. And it came to pass after the 7 days, that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on the same day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, entered into the ark. They, and every beast according to its kind, and all the cattle according to their kind, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into Noah into the ark, 2 by 2 of all flesh, in which is the breath of life. And those that went in male and female of all flesh, as God commanded him. And Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth. And the waters increased, and bore up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth. And all the high mountains that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward, the waters prevailed, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, from birds to cattle to beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, of all that was on the dry land died. And every living thing was destroyed that was upon the face of the ground, from man to cattle to creeping things, and birds of the heavens, and they were destroyed from the earth. And only Noah was left, and those who were with H. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. Genesis 8. And God remembered Noah, and all the beasts, and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. Also the fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days the waters decreased. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days, that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, and it went forth to and fro, until the waters were dried up from off the earth. And he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot. And she returned to him to the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. And he put forth his hand, and took her, and brought her into him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him at evening. And lo, in her mouth an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet 7 other days, and sent forth the dove. And she did not return again to him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked. And behold, the face of the... And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. And God spoke to Noah, saying, Go forth from the ark, thou, and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee of all flesh, both birds and cattle, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon th. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every bird, whatever moves upon the earth, according to their families, went forth out of the ark. And Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Lord smelled the sweet savor. And Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for that the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again any more smite everything. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Genesis 9. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every bird of the heavens, with all with which the ground teems, and all the fishes of the sea. They are delivered into your hand. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. As the green herb, I have given you all, but flesh with the life of it, which is the blood of it, ye shall not eat. And surely your blood, the blood of your lives, I will require. At the hand of every beast I will require it. And at the hand of man, even at the hand of every man's brother, I will require the life of man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God he made man. And you, be fruitful, and multiply. Bring forth abundantly on the earth, and multiply on it. And God spoke to Noah, and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, of all that go out of the ark, even every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood, nor shall there be a flood any more to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you, for perpetual generations. I set my bow in a cloud, and it shall be for a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah, who went forth from the ark, were Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from these the whole earth was spread over. And Noah began to be a farmer, and planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers outside. And Shem and Japheth took a garment, and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they did not see their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his youngest son had done to him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, he shall be a servant of servants to his brothers. And he said, Blessed be Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived 350 years after the flood. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Genesis 10. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elishah, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these were the islands of the nations divided in their lands, every man according to his tongue, according to their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabteka. And the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty man on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, and the land of Shinar. He went forth out of that land into Assyria, and built Nineveh, and Rehoboth-ir, and Calah, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same as the great city. And Mizraim begot Ludim, and Anamim, and Lahabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluim, for where the Philistines went forth, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begot Sidon his firstborn, and Hate, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. And afterward the families of the Canaanite were spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanite was from Sidon, as thou go toward Gerar, to Gaza, as thou go toward Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim, to Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their tongues, in their lands, in their nations. And to Shem, the father of all the sons of Eber, the elder brother Japheth, sons were also born to him. The sons of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the sons of Aram, Uzi, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begot Shelah, and Shelah begot Eber. And to Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided. And his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begot Almadad, and Shalef, and Hazamaveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou go toward Sephar, the mountain of the east. These are the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their tongues, in their lands, according to their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, in their nations. And from these the nations were divided on the earth after the flood.